Pokemon Day has come and gone, and we finally get to see more of Legend ZA that fans have been begging to know more information on, and Game Freak finally delivered. And what we got still leaves many people with questions, comments, and concerns. I know I certainly do, and I'm going to break down the trailer to try and piece together some of those uncertainties that many people like myself have for this game. Just a bit of warning though, some of my thoughts will come from analyzing the trailer, while others will be a bit of theory crafting and speculation, which is one of the things I like to do on this channel. So I hope you guys will stick with me till the end and try to pick this trailer apart. What's up guys, Tactics here with another video for you. Let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Okay, so I said this before that I'm a long time fan of the series. I've been around since the Gen 1 days and I played just about all the games. But that's not going to cloud my judgment on how I think this game will be for myself and probably for the rest of the fan base as well. I definitely have my issues with what I saw from the trailer and I will be tackling those as we go through the video. So let's start from the beginning. We open with the trailer as it gives us a shot of a train station, so it seems to me that we'll be arriving in Lumiose City by train. Next we got a look at our character, and I gotta say, I'm actually rocking with the design a lot more than I did with Scarlet and Violet. That game had us looking like we get shoved into lockers for dressing like your typical nerd. But yeah, overall, I like the design, and it really makes you look like some sort of Pokemon Ranger. Next we get a few shots here and there, and then we get one with Slugoo in it, which gives me hope for a Mega Evolution for my boy Goodra. But Game Freak was very careful about showing us much of anything that could spoil the surprise. However, because this is Game Freak we're talking about here, keeping secrets only adds to my concerns rather than making me more excited. Like, when a game such as Zelda or something like Mario shows you the bare minimum and tries to keep secrets from fans as a way to build up excitement or hype, I'm kinda okay with that. For something like Zelda, it just makes me all the more excited for what new features or mechanics they could show off at a later date. Because I mean, I have more faith in the Zelda team than say the Pokemon company. So I would have rather they showed us something brand new, like a new Mega Evolution or something. This way it gives fans a little bit of assurance that would put our minds at ease. But nope, nothing at all. Because like, when you look at it like this, we knew that Mega Evolution was going to make a return, and we already know how successful and how much fans love Mega Evolution. However, some of the new key features that they've added, such as the battle system, we don't really know how well it will hold up for this game. But fans already know how great Mega Evolution is, so giving us just a few new Mega Evolutions would have definitely made things a lot more easier to swallow. But anyways, next we see the Wild Zones. Each one is marked by a green border with what looks like the statues that you would typically see inside of a Pokemon gym. So my question is, could there be some kind of challenge that you have to undergo in each of the Wild Zones? Maybe something similar to the island challenges in Sun and Moon. Then they revealed the starters being Tepig, Totodile, and Chikorita. Honestly, I'm actually really happy that Gen 2 gets a little bit more love with not one, but both the water and the grass starter being here because I just really love Chikorita. Bayleaf is one of my all-time favorite Pokemon designs, so I hope they do good with their evolutions. And once again, they didn't show us any form or evolution of them, so you know they just have to have something special planned for them, right? But since they are your starters, it makes you wonder, what about the original Kalos starters? Are they somewhere out there in the Wild Zones, or do you get them from someone later? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Then we get to see the battle system, which has been completely overhauled to something different from your standard turn-based RPG. Capturing Pokemon seems easier as well, but we'll get into the battle system a little bit later. We see the technology of Lumiose on display with a weird teleportation panel that takes you to the rooftops because, well, you know, who needs stairs, right? I don't know, maybe it'll help us get a good workout in. But no, our fat ass can just use the teleporters now, right? We see the character climbing a little over the roofs and jumps off to the next building with a little help from the Rotom phone. A nice little callback to Scarlet and Violet. So is there like a jump button for our character now, or is it just automatic? Like what's wrong, Game Freak? Do you think us players are just too damn lazy nowadays to press a jump button on our own? Okay, sorry. Some of those issues that I have is starting to trickle through the cracks. But don't worry, we'll get to those issues very soon. Next, they give us a few shots of Pokemon Mega evolving, but as I said already, they don't really show us anything new here. No new Mega evolutions or really anything special about the Megas themselves. Just that it's here and it makes your Pokemon and their moves more powerful. At least that's what it looks like to me. Again, not showing anything new here really does not help Game Freak at all, since most people already don't have a lot of faith in the company like we used to. Only the die-hard fans who would literally slurp down a plate of Game Freak's crap would be a-okay with this. We get to see AZ and Floette, but more on them in a moment. Then there is also Zygarde as well, which we kinda expected to see. Now let's pause and address the big elephant in the room here. This game is most likely, if not will, take place entirely inside the city, which bothers me quite a bit. One of the focal points of Pokemon has always been about exploring this expansive world and discovering new locations within a region. Pokemon has never been just about capturing Pokemon, but adventure as well. I already had a problem with Scarlet and Violet with the whole school setting, but luckily they didn't linger on that with the school portion of the game. Instead, they made exploring the school and getting to know your fellow students and teachers optional. Scarlet and Violet were at least able to capture the feeling of exploration and discovery around the Paldean region. So it really worries me that if Lumiose is the only place we'll be able to explore, will the city be big enough? Will there be landmarks to discover, and will there be just enough content to justify confining me to a single city where the large buildings and the streets could potentially get stale after a long period of playing through the game? And I understand that the Legends series is not like the mainline games, but when you set up the series to be similar to an open world explorative world where you can wander around freely, then that's what a lot of people is going to expect going forward in that particular series. Not having that sense of exploration is my biggest fear of the game just getting stale after a few hours wandering around the big city. So I pray they do this right if they're going to restrict the player to one location for the entire game. I have a little hope that maybe we will be able to take the train to other major locations that are segmented off from Lumiose City, much like how each area in Legends Arceus was segmented off by the world map. Moving on though, we see a large shopping center where it looks like you'll be able to do a little bit of shopping. I do think you'll be able to kit your character out in some fresh new fits and maybe get a hairdo alongside your Pokemon of choice. But since the shopping center is here, that means that Game Freak probably completely did away with the crafting mechanic from Legends Arceus. Typically, I do enjoy most crafting mechanics in open world games, so it's unfortunate to see them do away with it. The next shot shows the original 3 evolutions, but we later see Sylveon, Glaceon, and Umbreon a part of your party, so Leafeon and Espeon must also be attainable in the game. We get a look at the Pokemon Center with its new outdoor floor plan, much like with Scarlet and Violet. Then we see the organization, but more on them very soon. Then of course we get to see some more technology on display with the Pokecaster, or at least I think that's what it's called. Next we get to see a couple of shots of Pokemon, but nothing all that noteworthy. Once again, Sylveon is here of course, and then they show us being able to run around with our Pokemon. But honestly though, this feature is not even all that special anymore. The novelty's basically worn off. It should just be an expectation in Pokemon games at this point. Next we learn the names of our rivals, and I don't know about you guys, but why does the color of their hair kind of reminds me a little of Lima from Sun and Moon? But afterwards we get a better look at AZ with a cane, and it looks like he's inside of a hotel maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one in charge of the wild zones with his newfound love for Pokemon. Then there is the Quasarico Corporation. These guys are probably the evil organization, or at the very least, there could be some individuals within the organization that's evil, but we'll just have to wait and find out. As for the wild zones themselves, they're looking a bit small to me. You can clearly see the edge of this particular zone here in this shot in the background. So how many zones will there be, and how big will some of them be? Will there be a variety of different Pokemon in these zones? Hard to say from what they've shown. We know there will be a variety of zones though, since some even extend to the rooftops, so that's pretty cool. Now let's talk about the battle system a little. I won't go into too much detail here since I'll be saving that for a separate video. All I have to say for now is that capturing Pokemon has been made even easier because now you can catch Pokemon even once their health bar reaches 0. They don't faint or minimize out of existence anymore, they just kinda wobble around with the confusion status over their heads, I guess. My issue with the modern Pokemon games is that with each new entry, the crazy amount of ease they continue to push on the player. I understand these games are mainly meant for kids, but god damn it, Game Freak. Game Freak don't even trust kids these days of learning a valuable lesson that if you hurt an animal too much, it dies, or faints in this case, and you have to find a new animal to capture and enslave it inside of your tiny ball for the rest of its natural life. Fantastic, right? Pokemon no longer die when you beat them up, they just stand around confused when you kill them. As for the battle system itself, yeah, they scrapped the turn-based system for a more MMO RPG style. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Pokemon Rumble, I think, but to be fair, I'm not knocking it. Try it before you knock it. That's usually how I tend to look at most things video game related. So I can't say that I hate this style until I've played through it and see it for myself. Like I said, I'm not going to go into major details on the battle system in this video, I'll save that for another day. But I won't deny that the decision to not at least give the battle mechanics from Legends Arceus another go to maybe improve on what was already established. Maybe they could have added a new style or of the strong or agile style, but I don't know, I'm just spitballing at this point. Moving on though, the battles also showed us something interesting. Can you guys spot what that might be? Well, if you're talking about that fine specimen of a Pyroar statue, then you're wrong. Because tell me, what the hell is this Onix? My man looks like he got the short end of the stick in the gene pool with his size. Like, is this supposed to be what a baby Onix looks like? Like, bro, somebody call the Poke Daycare and get the mama Onix's milk to this man immediately. Like, this is just embarrassing work. Let's just move on before the anger begins to seep into this video even more. At the end, we see a Zygarde cell crawling around, which leads me to believe that this is going to be a similar case with Legends Arceus with collecting the Spiritomb shards or something like that. But now it's going to be the Zygarde cells instead. And finally, we get some hint on some sort of online competitive mode perhaps at Lumiose Tower. Maybe it's not even that, it's got something to do with the main story. It's hard to say right now with certainty. Either way you look at it, this trailer gave us confirmation that the game is coming out late this year with a few new features like the battle system and a story that has the potential to be good while somehow trying to pose as an actual Legends game. Much of what was shown only left fans with more questions and concerns than answers and excitement. The idea of the game taking place entirely inside the city, the fear of no real sense of exploration and adventure, and a questionable battle system only continues to add fuel to the fire of fans who have either given up on the series or those that are on the fence about ever believing that Game Freak will design a Pokemon game that can actually revolutionize the series in the modern age. But I suppose it's too soon to judge until we have the end product in our hands. But what do you guys think about Pokemon Legends ZA? Or maybe just the whole Pokemon present as a whole? Was it a W or an L for you guys? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, there you have it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to smash that like button for your boy, and maybe subscribe if you haven't already for more related content like this. There is a bit more I want to talk about in regards to Legend of ZA, like the story and some other things from the trailer that I want to discuss, so stay tuned for that. But either way, I appreciate you guys all the same, and with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.